forward look for this week, and I've just been at a glitzy tea on Shoreham Beach run by the Church of the Good Shepherd in aid of Christian Aid Week. They certainly know how to enjoy themselves on Shoreham Beach. Now, it's been quite a momentous week. We obviously had election results on Thursday. They weren't good for my party locally, but I think certainly they were not good for the two main parties, Conservatives and Labour, at Westminster. There was very much a curse on both your houses effect to it, and lots of people saying they wanted to send a message to Westminster, particularly around Brexit. Well, when I get over 300 emails a day about Brexit, I think I'm getting that message loud and clear, but there are going to have to be changes, and Brexit, as I say, week in, week out, absolutely needs to be sorted. Now, a couple of interesting things happened in the last few days. We had the very hard-hitting climate change report from the Climate Change Committee with, I thought, some very sensible but urgent recommendations that we are going to need to look at more closely. Climate change has become a much bigger thing on the agenda at Westminster, quite rightly, and I've supported a number of measures to make that a reality before it is too late. More locally, I had a very interesting meeting with Liz Truss, the Chief Secretary to the Treasury last week. She asked a small number of MPs who represent constituencies where there have been big pressure on school funding, and it's a particular issue, and we know it is in West Sussex and in my constituency. And I impressed upon her, as did other colleagues, just how urgent it is that in the comprehensive spending review, which she is responsible for this year, that funding for our schools is absolutely top priority, and I think she gets that. The spending review is taking place throughout the summer, and the results will be announced in autumn, and I will be continuing to put a lot of pressure on to make sure we get fair funding for our schools. That means more funding in our schools, but it also means getting a fairer formula, which we have changed to our advantage, but not nearly enough yet. Now, next week, I think things are going to come back onto the agenda regarding Brexit. We're not expecting any key votes. I'm actually going to be attending the International Parliamentarians Convention on Tibet. I chaired the all-party group for Tibet. I've long been a supporter of the cause of the Tibetan people who were driven out of their country by the Chinese invasion back in 1959, and I'll be getting together with like-minded parliamentarians from around the world to show our support and continue putting pressure on China for their appalling human rights record. Interestingly, I've just had a call from the political attaché at the Chinese embassy suggesting that I might not go to this convention. Just shows what they think of free speech. We also, on Tuesday, have got the Wild Animals in Circuses bill. This has been on the back burner for some time, and I'm glad to say that the government have picked it up as part of government legislation rather than through a private member's bill, which is what was being offered. This would ban the use of wild animals in travelling circuses in the UK, and I think it's long overdue. They have no place in circuses in the modern world. Later on in the week, I shall be having my normal fortnightly surgery in Worthing this time on Friday, and there'll be the usual Farmers Market Street surgery in Shoreham with me and my counsellors. And just one other thing, a lot of you have contacted me since my last newsletter about organising trips to the House of Commons, which is great. I said, for goodness sake, if you want to come and look around, if you haven't been there before, we can easily arrange tours before we have to vacate the place in the next few years for the major refurbishment. So if you are interested, do let me know. But there is quite a big queuing list at the moment. But if you've got an interest, then just send me an email and we'll see what we can do. Otherwise, I hope you're going to have a good bank holiday weekend, and I'll report back from my Tibet convention next week and anything else that's happened on Brexit.